Are you hiding your own happiness from yourself? So if you look around our office, we surround ourselves with, we have a ton of books here. There's a book over here that I should have picked up already and started doing more reading on that Melissa finished. And then she left there for me because I told her I wanted to read it and it was a priority. But if it's sitting there and I haven't read it yet, is it really a priority? No. And I'm lying to myself if I think I keep on telling myself it's a priority and I keep not reading it. So, but getting back to what we're talking about. So what I wanted to talk about was the fact that we hide things from ourselves all the time. The thing that we're hiding all the time and that we're throwing in, we're throwing in places where we forget where it is our happiness. And we're just not being honest with ourselves about, and just so you know, when I record these lives, it's a message that I end up sharing over and over and over again with the people that we work with. It's also a message that I need to share over and over again with myself. I'm gonna come back out here because I want to stand up. With that being said, what I'm talking about is the fact that if let's say you come in here and you work out at our training center and you're surrounded by other people that have big goals, that are committed to those goals, you're going to have different experiences. You're going to share different things, and you're going to talk about things that are going to lead you to believe that you can do more, that you can be more, that you can take more accountability and take more ownership for those dreams and goals that you have. And you're going to be around not even necessarily, you can say like-minded people, but driven people that are looking at similar destinations or similar journeys and challenging themselves in ways that are bigger than most people do. And so your environment does really impact you. Now, back to what we were talking about, the whole hiding happiness. If you grab my phone and you unlock it and you look at it, from time to time I have Melissa send messages or whatever, or share things from my phone, and what she'll stumble upon in my phone is always the things that I want to surround myself with. So you're going to see a gazillion podcasts on all things human performance in there. You're not going to find anything else. You're going to find messages from friends and student athletes, and those messages are going to be uplifting messages. They're going to be real messages, though. They're going to be things that, hey, listen, if we have an obstacle, if we have a problem, let's figure out how we can solve it. Let's really look at it. Let's measure it out, and let's be practical about how we're going to knock this out. Are we challenging ourselves? Are we looking at what the greatest opportunity is? Are we being grateful for the opportunities that we have and the people that are in our lives and the experiences that we have? And that's what you're going to see. You're going to see a ton of that. You're going to see pictures. If you go to my pictures and videos, you're going to see pictures of things that are uplifting for me. You're going to see pictures of people that I'm learning from. You're going to see videos of myself and of other people that are going to head me in that direction. Now, I wasn't always as clear as I am now. It's been a process for sure. And so you're not going to just start off with from there. I mean, I've made a gazillion mistakes, and I've learned from, I think, every one of them. But one of the things that I knew that I still will do from time to time is hiding happiness from myself. And this is what I mean. People aren't really clear why they do things often, so they don't drill down on the major human needs that are the most important to them, and so they keep doing things over and over again. And so, like I said, like the things that are important to you, you need to surround yourself with. So over here on the board, we have written down the 6 basic human needs. I have them up here so that people can reflect on them and bring them to their awareness consistently. And so it's certainty, variety, growth, significance, connection, and contribution. Now, the ways that we often hide happiness from ourselves or block it from ourselves is we'll engage in things that are destructive, not constructive, but destructive, or they're constructive for things that are going to take away from our happiness and honestly hurt the people that surround us, or hurt our experiences or conversations or the things that we desire, because we're unaware of what drives us. So you might have a big why for a goal that you have, and that's great. But understanding why that why is a why is almost as important as the why, because it's going to bring something to you, or you perceive it's going to bring something to you. And it might be certainty that it brings to you. It might be variety that it brings to you. It might be significance. It could be growth. It could be connection. It could be contribution. Now, I can tell you as a male in a family, if I don't feel like I'm contributing to the household, or to my spouse, or to my kids, if I feel like I'm not contributing, it makes me feel empty. So that's one of the biggest driving forces in my life. I want to contribute. In every single relationship that I'm in, I want to contribute. I don't feel like I need to be significant. That's the difference. Is that a problem? I don't know. I'm not sure. But it's not what I'm worried about. I would like to connect, but honestly, I only feel like I need to connect in order to contribute, which is kind of, I don't know, it's a weird thing, but it is what makes me tick. Now, for some people, certainty and variety dominate their life. And so we'll see people, oftentimes they say they're committed to a goal. You see this show up with the divorce rate. And I'm not, do what you're doing, and if it's working for you, great. But the divorce rate being so high, people say it's natural or not natural to be married or whatever. I'm not going to get into that discussion, but I'm just saying that was a goal that you had, a commitment, and for some people, they liked it maybe for certainty. Maybe they liked it at first for variety. Sure, you can say it's because they love the person or whatever. But again, the 6 basic human needs, get back to them for a minute. There are a few that you probably had really, really illuminated when you met this person. And it's the same way with goals. It's like, all right, let's say I wanted to go to college and I wanted to be a mechanical engineer. And all of a sudden you get to college, and sure, you may change. That might happen, because that's how it works with young people. You may change, and you're growing, and all these different things are happening. But if you knew why you wanted to be a mechanical engineer, then chances are you still probably want to be a mechanical engineer. Maybe you get turned on by some other engineering field, and it's a better fit for you. That's fine. But what changed from where you were at before on the goal? And that's the thing, like understanding your why, but then also understanding what you thought was going to be fulfilled and illuminated in those 6 basic human needs from that goal. And knowing that is really, really important. So I want to walk you through this now that we're 8 minutes into this conversation. People start off and I say, okay, well, what's your real need for yourself as it relates to what we're talking about? That, like, what's your why? What's your goal? What's your need? And then really, now what's your desire? Now what your desire is actually what you're almost like a perceived need. It's like the why feeling kind of thing. So what do you desire? What are you going to actually need? And then what do you desire? Now what's your intention? What's your intention? What do you hope to do? What do you hope to become? What do you hope to get out of this? That's your intention. Then the next thing that we go to is execution. How are you going to execute on this? How are you going to actually do this? Now, the problem is when you don't have clarity throughout need, desire, and intention, the execution gets really, really goofed up. And this is where people get distracted, and all of a sudden their goal that they had now changes. But what they are trying to capture, that feeling, that basic human need, that usually stays the same. It usually stays the same, but they're unaware of it. So now all of a sudden the goal shifts, but not really. It's just the vehicle shifts. The goal, we always think, oh, that's the goal. It's usually the vehicle. It's not the actual goal. The goal is almost an intrinsic kind of thing. But we're looking at, I wanted to do this. Okay, because it was going to make you feel how. How it was going to make you feel, or you thought how it was going to make you feel, is really what's going on. And that's where, that's where I'm not going to say his name, but a very famous actor who brought his life to an untimely end, did so because when he got to his goals, what he was desiring feeling-wise wasn't there. And whether he was aware or not aware of it, unfortunately, he decided that was it. He had gotten to so many different pinnacles. He climbed all the peaks, and the air up there wasn't any different. It was, but it wasn't. He just found he was by himself and he didn't feel fulfilled, is what I'm guessing based on the things that I saw this person communicate. And that's the thing, like, what is your true goal? Well, how do you really want to feel? How do you really want to feel? And is this going to take you there? And if it doesn't take you there in X amount of time, what are you going to do about it? A lot of the times what we'll tell student athletes is, hey, listen, this is a big, hairy, audacious goal like Jim Collins talks about. Guess what, though? These big, hairy, audacious goals, you don't get, an immediate feel-good response from it unless you decide to, from working on it. And there's going to be a lot of work to work on it. And there's going to be a ton of boom, you got punched in the face situations. With that being said, you can decide to feel good about it, especially if you understand where the goal is taking you and where all this hard work is taking you, and that it's worth it. And if what you said in the beginning was true, then you stick to it. And if it was a lie to yourself, or you're saying something to make somebody feel good, well, that's unfortunate. And at that point, you got to sit back down and manage your expectations and sit down and kind of renegotiate this contract that you've made with yourself and then possibly another person or other persons if you're on a team. And this isn't easy to do, but it's an absolute necessity if you want clarity of vision in your mind, in your heart, and just in your gut and in the way that you feel. And we get this wrong a lot. I know as athletes, it's difficult to try and really come to this determination because a lot of times you don't have time to reflect on things, which is the fifth piece of this. You have need, desire, intention, execution, and then you need reflection. You need to recap. Then you need to resume back at the top again with the adjustments that you make to move yourself forward. That's like the process. And some people forget to recap. They forget to reflect. And if you don't do that, like, what did I learn from this? What did I do? How did I feel from this last cycle? And when we don't reflect on that, you can't use that information. You can't really use that lesson to move forward and progress on to the next chapter. And so you stick yourself and you hide that happiness from yourself because you cannot progress without, applying that forward. So anyways, that's it in a nutshell. I kept it less than 15 minutes. And the most important thing that I'd like to say is, like, if you can't bump into and discover and rediscover, and every time you uncover something in your own life, whether it's in your phone, whether it's in your office, whether it's at your place of employment, if you can't easily see your goals and what drives you and the things that you get from what drives you, the basic human needs, if you can't see this every time in every single situation, I can look in any direction in our gym and I can see the things that drive me mentally and emotionally and physically. And I can do the same thing in my office. I can do the same thing on my phone. And I can do the same thing pretty much anywhere where I put myself. And the more that I focus on that and the more that I look to see that, the more I'm going to see that in every situation, in every person, in every conversation, in every event that I'm involved with. And that is attracting what I'm looking for. And that really is the law of attraction. And if you're looking for happiness, look for it where you are right now. Don't look outside. Look where you are right now. It's there. It's there. You might have to kind of build it up a little bit. You might have to strengthen it a little bit. It probably needs a little bit of life breathed into it, but it's there. You can do it. So remember, recapping just really quickly, the basic human needs. There is certainty, there's variety. They're kind of like on the opposite sides, but they could be similar. Then there's connection and contribution, and then there's significance and growth. That's it. I mean, yeah, sure, you could branch out from there and you can probably drill those down a little bit too, but like they're very simple, and Tony Robbins put a lot of thought and energy into them.